This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard, watching the Grunion crawl Magi. Little kids got naked and had lots of sex. Don't even waste your time.
Hello, welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. It's good to be back. I feel like this is the start of a new season. I feel like we were gone for so long that this is like season 2.
It feels like, and during that time, like, retooled the show with some new energy and stuff, but I don't think we did any of that. We're just
It's just going to be the same.
Yeah,
Sorry, folks.
Same old thing.
It's
We
just
don't
going to be
know
the
how
same,
to,
same old Ryan Watches a Movie.
yeah, we don't make good use of time. I think.
Nah.
I think that's one of our weaknesses.
Probably, yeah, I would say so. This is episode number 223. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good.
We're also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you?
Alright, I guess.
All right, that's good. What movie did we have you watch?
Showgirls.
Showgirls. Picked this in honor of Elle coming out this week. We got this is directed by Paul Verhoeven. Stars Elizabeth Berkley. I have a synopsis here. Nomi. Her name's Nomi.
Yes.
Nomi, a young drifter, arrives in Las Vegas to become a dancer and soon sets about clawing and pushing her way to become the top of the Vegas showgirls. All right. Ryan.
It's funny that you said her name because one of the first lines in this is, "My name is Nomi. My parents were Italian." I don't know what the fuck that means.
They just jumped straight into some backstory.
When in the first scene, she is hitchhiking to Las Vegas, and some guy picks her up, and she's telling him her backstory, and she says, "My name is Naomi," and he says, "Naomi, that's a weird name," and she goes, "My parents were Italian." I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
But anyway, she gets picked up by this guy who is incidentally also going to Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is 300 and some odd miles away. So they have, quite a long time to talk. But she is on her guard. She has a switchblade that she pulls out and shows him. And pretty much acts like, "If you fuck with me, I'm gonna kill you." So they're talking about casinos, and she's talking about how she doesn't gamble. And he says, "Well, baby, you start." That's kind of the outline for the beginning of the movie. Because she's gambling, leaving everything behind to get Las Vegas. And while they're in a casino, she strikes a couple times and gets the jackpot. And then the next few scenes are her putting money in slot machines and just losing all of it. So she loses all the money that she made, and she goes to leave the casino. And she walks out and finds out the guy left and took her only suitcase with her only possession. And she freaks out in the parking lot and always gets in a fight with a fist fight with this girl. And after they calm down, Squirrel decides to invite her to live with her until she gets on her feet. And this girl also happens to be a costume designer for one of Las Vegas television shows. And Jessie Spano, that's what I want to call her.
Okay. Saved by the Bell reference.
She becomes a stripper because no legitimate show will let her just straight dance. And she is accused a few times of being a whore and using her body to get what she wants. And oftentimes she freaks out at whoever says that. And says I'm not a whore and then stops away. And while she's stripping, she has to meet this girl that is the main attraction at one show. And she's played by Gina Gershon. And this Elizabeth, or now I'm going back and forth. Elizabeth Berkley stressed for this lady's boyfriend and gives him a lap dance for $500. And once they're all done, this guy's like, you're such a bitch to Gina Gershon for, enticing him, but not. I don't know how to word this. Not following through to completion. So she has to along the way, Gina gets her interview and audition at the show that she's in. She gets her audition and eventually makes it into the show and eventually becomes Gina Sean's, what do they call them? Understudy. And while they're doing a show one night, they do a show and they're coming off stage, down steps, and she pushes Gina Gershon and makes her fall and like break her hip and hurt herself pretty bad. And then goes from the understudy to the main attraction. And the main guy that she works for finds out that she lied about who she was. So they rape one of her friends.
Wait. They found out she lied, so they rape one of her friends?
Yes.
I think we're missing something. I just have a feeling that
something about that seems off.
There's a bridge there that Ryan's forgetting about.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well. But anyway, after they rape this girl, Elizabeth Berkley goes and beats the shit out of one guy after she seduces him. And he goes back and lets the original girl know I took care of it, blah, blah, and I'm a good person. And after that, Gina Gershon quits the show, and Elizabeth Berkley goes out to get revenge on the guy that stole her suitcase from the beginning of the movie. And while she's hitchhiking, she happens to get picked up by him again. Out of all the cars everywhere, he happens to come along and pick her up. And she deals with him, not kills him or anything, but scares him. And everyone kind of lives happily around there.
Okay. All right. So, what did you think of Showgirls?
Elizabeth Berkley is a terrible, terrible actress. Like at the beginning, I thought she was mostly like she was like a dead fish. She had no emotion in her voice at all. It just felt like she was reading a script. But as it went on, she got a little better. But just some of her reactions the different things and some of the things, the lines she has, they just make her look awful.
She just doesn't have that range, huh?
No.
It
Her
flat.
range was Jesse Spano. And
That's
that's it.
that's the only range she can operate in for you.
Yes. So, Showgirls, it's gonna be Jesse Spano becomes a stripper. It might have been better.
Oh God.
So this is a fairly notorious movie. This is a movie that was rated NC-17 at its release, which was, I think it was probably one of the first NC-17 rated movies. I know it was one of the earlier ones, but I remember it was really notable because Paul Verhoeven didn't want to cut it. He didn't want to bring it down to the R rating or anything like that. So they gave him full creative control and released it as an NC-17. As a result, it did horribly. And I don't know if that was just because the NC-17 was probably a mix between that and the fact that everyone hated this movie when it came out. It was a complete disaster in every way.
Well, like I told you before we started, on Wikipedia, the plot is now it is 5 paragraphs. This movie is 2 hours long. Normally for like a movie is an hour and a half long. It's the plot outline is a bit longer. So it was like 2 hours of crap. I feel like they could have got their point across in like an hour.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like that much really happens. Like what?
Yeah.
Most of this time.
It's just everything's drawn out. Like scenes where she falls in love and scenes where she meets people that have nothing to do with anything in the movie. They're just in there. It could have been a lot cut from this.
Yeah, I think there are different cuts of the movie. I know the one that I mentioned, the TV cut, I think is different. Paul Verhoeven is credited as Jan Jansen in the credits for this one. Jan Jansen. I'm not sure why that is. At first I thought it was probably because he wanted to not have his name be attached to it, but I'm not so sure because from what I'm reading it seems like he was a pretty ardent defender of the movie. So I'm not sure exactly why.
He just likes the name Jan Jansen.
Yeah, sometimes he just wants to make
I wonder if
movies as
that's
Jan.
something that he's been using for like his entire life, and then finally got a chance to like, kind of like Costanza with Art Vandelay.
Art Vandelay.
And he's just like, I finally get to use Jan Jansen. They're like, what do you want to put this out under? And just a light bulb goes. It's like Jan Jansen. He's an artist.
This set the record for most amount of Razzies. It was nominated for 13 Razzies.
Wow, how many Razzie categories are there?
Probably 13. I think it was almost everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it says here it was one or more nominations in all 11 categories of the 1996 awards. So there was 11 categories.
More nominations than categories.
Yep.
Goodness.
It won 7 of them, tied with Battlefield Earth.
Wow.
As the third most dishonored film in Razzie history. And apparently Paul Verhoeven was there to accept the awards.
I love when that happens. Now, do you think he was there as Paul Verhoeven or if he was there as Jan Jansen?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
Jansen, just him with a stash, maybe?
That would be so funny. Like the joke glasses with the mustache.
They would, camera would cut to him and be Paul Verhoeven, and then it would cut to Jan Jansen. It would just be a fake mustache.
Now, a lot of people complain about Elizabeth Berkley's performance in this, and I'm wondering if she proved to be a hindrance on the film as a whole. Like, I'm wondering if someone else
was in it,
was in her role, because I read that Jennifer Lopez auditioned, and Jenny McCarthy also auditioned for the lead. So I'm wondering if one of those two ended up getting it, specifically Jennifer Lopez, if the movie would have turned out better. Because I don't remember much about the movie, but I do remember Elizabeth Berkley being horrible. Now, and that's may not be her. It might have been Paul Verhoeven directing her to act that way, you know?
That'd be funny if it was. That'd be really interesting if Paul Verhoeven was like, Elizabeth Berkley, what I want you to do is to pretend that you're in a Bresson movie, and then everyone else would just be the same, as if they're in a normal Verhoeven movie.
Right. So he might have been instructing her to be kind of this emotionless
That'd be
husk
fantastic.
of a person. I don't know. I would be interested to find out. I wanted to watch this for this week, but I didn't have enough time, unfortunately. So
Now, Ryan, are you a big fan of Elizabeth Berkley? Are you a fan of Jesse Spano?
I like graduation. That's about it.
Do you see Jesse Spano differently now?
No.
Okay, that's good. You don't want that to...
Because it really didn't, like, in my head, it doesn't look like she has, like, blonde hair and like her is up on it. It just doesn't look like her.
You know, I went back and rewatched just one random episode of Saved by the Bell not too long ago, just to see.
Did you end up killing yourself?
Oh my God, I turned it off after about 3 minutes. I can't believe that I was into that show. It's just incomprehensible that I somehow found some sort of enjoyment out of that show. It's a nightmare.
Man. Simpler times back then.
It is a complete nightmare to watch. So this was Paul Verhoeven's lowest rated film. It got a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty universally hated.
What? Kevin, are you making me to look under the plot outline? Fourth paragraph. Can you make sense of that?
I got to read the whole paragraph here?
No, it's like the first...
I feel like I'm playing Where in the World's Carmen Sandiego for the...
Yeah, he's giving you homework now.
What am I looking at? I'm sorry? The first,
like, 2 sentences. In the fourth paragraph, then it explains why they killed that girl, raped that girl, but I can't really...
Oh, okay. So, Naomi gets her fame and everything, but she ends up alienating one of her friends, Molly, who witnessed down the stairs. So Molly goes to the opening night and she meets her idol, some musician, and that musician ends up helping. Well, he apparently ends up beating the shit out of her and then helping one of his bodyguards rape her. And then Naomi wants to prosecute this guy, but they're like, nah, we're not going to do that because he's famous. And then I guess they find out about her sword pass and blackmail her, I guess. I don't know.
Blackmail who? Naomi?
I guess. Yeah. Blackmail, or no, they blackmail Molly?
Oh, Molly.
Were they both of them?
They got raped.
Blackmailing both of them, kinda?
So many mysteries
but it
in the world of Showgirls.
Say why she was raped.
Well, it sounds like the bodyguard was just being a rapist. He was just being a creep.
But there were 3 of them. They're right there. Well, one dude held her down, 2 other dudes right there.
That's just that classic Verhoeven satire. Like when I hear Showgirls, that's what I think, because this kind of like flipped. Like I kind of forgot about the initial like, oh, this movie's so terrible. Now it's become this like beacon, this like the best movies ever. Like that's what I usually hear.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely something to mention. A lot of directors are even saying that it's an amazing film. So it's definitely one of those things that has aged well, I guess, in a way. I mean, there's certainly some revisionist history happening here with Showgirls. A lot of people are really loving this movie now. Maybe it's just ahead of its time, or maybe it's more relevant now, or maybe it's just that people... I mean, people may be analyzing it more than they did back then.
It could be.
Because there's always something going on. There's always something going on in Verhoeven's films underneath the surface. You can never really take his movies at face value. Or you can, but you get more out of it if you peel away the layers.
I guess. Like that deep of a filmmaker to me. Like I don't think you have to peel back that far.
Well, that's the thing. Like most of his movies, when you look at this list that I'm about to read off, it's there's not they're not that deep. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I have a feeling that it's people like peeling away at the layers, and then they just keep digging and kind of come up with something.
Yeah, and they come up with more interpretations, and yeah, it definitely could be one of those things. So, Ryan, are you familiar with Paul Verhoeven? Are you aware of any of his other movies?
If you name, maybe.
Okay, well let me drop some knowledge on you with Paul Verhoeven.
Spatters, 1980. Spatters.
Remember that one? No, he did RoboCop. He did Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Starship Troopers.
Wow.
Yeah, Hollow Man, Kevin Bacon.
Damn.
Kevin Bacon, Hollow Man.
That was his second worst reviewed movie, by the way. But here's the thing. Hollow Man came out in 2000. So I was pretty young when that came out, and I loved it. I loved Hollow Man. I thought the effects...
I remember thinking, yeah, exactly. I remember
the effects
were so fucking cool.
They were so good back then. I have a feeling if I watched it now, I'd be like, oh, God, it looks so bad. But
I actually
it looked
caught
really
it on
good
TV
back then.
A couple, like, not too long ago. It's probably like a couple months. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, I could totally, because a lot of that effects work was CG, and it was like early CG, so yeah, it probably looks bad. We're probably talking reboot levels on the CG of Hollow Man. So what do you think about his filmography there? I take it you're a pretty big fan of a lot of those I listed, right?
Yeah, man. Does this guy, like, I don't know why I never know his name. I don't understand that. I mean, I like Basic Instinct. That was probably the first radar movie ever saw. It was cool back then.
The first rated R movie I ever saw was Witness, I think.
Witness.
And I like RoboCop.
I love RoboCop.
Oh,
that's a movie that holds up.
Oh man, was fucking dumb.
But at the time when it first came out,
yeah,
these effects are fucking awesome.
At the time, yes. So
I think the problem with
some of his movies are okay. He's not he's not Michael Bay. Everyone knows his name, or Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? Like
he's not a household name.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be. The truth is he hasn't. There's not that many well-known movies that he's made. He kind of takes his time with movies. You have directors like Spielberg that come out with a movie almost every year, and also Verhoeven's on the fringes. Like he makes these kind of mainstream movies, but I would not call them mainstream.
I wonder if it's a portion of why the name hasn't stuck with you, Ryan, is maybe because you have difficulty remembering it or maybe pronouncing it. That's why, and it's kind of like a different name.
Yeah.
So it didn't really stick for you. Like Steven Spielberg is pretty easy to remember. Plus, it's pretty big. But Paul Verhoeven probably just floats off, comes off the tongue and just floats away.
Love Total Recall. Still love that to this day. Basic Instinct is good. I haven't watched that in years.
I haven't watched a lot of these in a long time, except for RoboCop, which that was pretty recent.
Yeah,
and that was awesome. Love you, RoboCop.
Starship Troopers. That's another one. When I first saw Starship Troopers, I was so in love with that movie.
Yeah, I was pretty blown. I hate that now.
You hate Starship Troopers?
Yeah, but at the time I was like, wow.
Well, that's one where the effects have not held up at all. They weren't even that good when that came out in 1997. The effects work in Starship Troopers not great.
Making gigantic insects. See if they hold up.
I don't think it really takes away from the movie. In fact, it almost adds to it at this point. The kind of intentional camp of the movie.
That's the one thing that I kind of like about when we were watching like the 80s horrors and stuff. Like when you see a lot of that stuff now. Different, some fun. Look how far we've come. Mm-hmm. This is wonderful.
Yeah. And also a lot of CG type stuff looks the same now, whereas I feel like back then everything had its own kind of uniqueness.
it's also difficult to know, like, what's it gonna. Because I remember when Sega Dreamcast came out, I was like, holy shit, it looks like real people. This is fucking
Yeah.
incredible. And
Yeah.
now I look
Soul
at a
Calibur.
Sega. Now I look at a Sega Dreamcast and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I still like. I still think Starship Troopers is great though.
It's really difficult to kind of to judge those things in the moment, unless they're bad. Then you just know that they're bad.
That's one
Yeah.
of those movies that I liked it when I was a kid, but as I got older and I watched it, I didn't like it. And so I just stopped trying to watch it so I could keep the good memories in my head.
Mm. Did you like Starship Troopers, Kevin?
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
good stuff.
I haven't watched it in quite some time now.
Just this week they announced that there's a reboot that's being planned.
For
But I
what?
don't think
Starship
for for Starship Troopers. I don't think Verhoeven has anything to do with it though.
Just fucking rebooting anything. Next thing you
I
know,
know.
they're gonna be fucking rebooting Spatters.
I hope they reboot.
Reboot.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fantastic.
Kevin, have you seen any of his earlier stuff, Verhoeven?
Spatters?
Yeah, like Spatters or Diary of a Hooker or Turkish Delight.
I have not. No.
I haven't seen any of his earlier stuff either. I probably should, since I am a pretty big fan of his work. He's a controversial director too.
Rutger Hauer.
Which one?
Rutger Hauer got to start.
Oh yeah. He was a very controversial director too. When RoboCop came out, that was a really controversial movie. It, I think, got an X rating when it first came out because of that scene when Murphy gets all shot up and he gets his hand blown off and all that. That movie was so over the top violent. And then of course Basic Instinct, the crotch scene with Sharon Stone.
I don't even remember.
The classic vagina scene.
Why did that happen?
Why did that happen?
Going on when
she was seducing him.
Oh yeah, when she was being interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Side note: the Jan Jansen moniker was only for the TV version of Showgirls because he did not approve of the edited version. So the regular version, it's under his name. The edited TV version is Jan Jansen.
Jan Jansen.
I'm just wondering how he came up with that name.
I do like that as a name. Jan Jansen.
Yeah.
That's a fun name to say.
Yeah, it is.
Rolls off the tongue.
You can play with that a lot. That's fun.
All right, Ryan. Final thoughts?
Steven. If you like Jesse Spano, say go Saved by the Bell. That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense because that's the only thing she's in.
Oh, God. All right. Let's go ahead and give you a drum roll on this thing. What do you give Showgirls?
I'm gonna tell.
2 out of 10.
Fuck all you people. It's good now.
But it's a satire, Ryan. It's a satire. Do you appreciate good satire? Like just well crafted satire.
Do you even know about satire?
Sometimes I appreciate it.
I think Showgirls is a good example of why satire is not always a good thing, because you get in these gray areas. Like The Canyons is another good example where you're just like, is it satire or is it just bad?
And I don't think it helps too that if people throw that out there and then the director's like, yes, yeah, yeah,
that's exactly what I was going for, guys. The whole time, that guy figured it out.
Someone finally fucking got it. Thank goodness I made it for him.
Now, what do you think of? Have you heard of his new movie coming out called Elle?
I have not.
Yeah, I didn't think that this would be one on your radar. Let me read you the synopsis for this one, and you just tell me if you're interested. A successful businesswoman gets caught up in a game of cat and mouse as she tracks down the unknown man who raped her. Now, what it doesn't say in here is that she's the owner of a video game company.
Well, that puts me in right there. Because before it sounded like he was just a drama queen. Like a man.
What the fuck?
A movie about someone dramatic. Now
She's just a drama queen.
Actually,
Oh, no. Oh.
Jesus Christ.
now I know she actually has a decent head on her shoulders and a good job.
What?
The video game.
Oh.
But
I don't know where to even begin
I don't
trying to dissect that. So
before he threw in the video game or whatever, you thought that she was like a dramatic person, like a drama queen. But now knowing that she runs a video game design team or whatever you want to call it, production company, whatever, she has a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to get around
Like,
because
I know.
the first run through
I know.
sans the video game thing, he said a successful businesswoman. Like, is that not enough? Or do you
it's not enough, dude.
You had to ask.
Did he say successful businesswoman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing. A successful
my
businesswoman
bad.
gets caught up in a game of cat and mouse.
Alright, that part I must have made attention.
Okay.
But-
So
Basically, yeah, I'm kind.
cool. Yeah, we're recording this stuff out of order, but by the time you hear this, Kevin and I will have already reviewed it on the regular podcast.
Oh man. Whew.
Yeah,
What an episode.
time traveling. It was a good one.
It was something. It was
Oh.
interesting. We talked about a lot of stuff, mentioned some things from the movie. It was something.
Wait,
Yeah.
is there any time traveling involved in the movie?
Who knows? Might be.
There might be. Who
That
knows?
that would put me out.
I
That
can
would
tell
put
you this.
out
There are,
that you wouldn't.
oh yeah, you're not into time. He's not into time travel. Remember?
That's right.
Does
That's
not
right.
like time travel. I can say no. There is no time travel.
Oh, I just saw that movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes, which should be a tip of the hat that I haven't watched it yet. Oh, damn it!
It's a long one, but I would say, at least for me, it did not feel that long.
Okay.
I was pretty fully invested in it. Not to give too much away about my thoughts. So, all right. So Elle is going to be in limited release coming up this week. Opens November 11th. Ryan, any final thoughts on Paul Verhoeven, Showgirls, Elle? Closing remarks. What's your favorite? Which you said Basic Instinct?
That was going to be my question.
My favorite what?
Your favorite Verhoeven. Is it Basic Instinct?
Either that or Total Recall.
What's your favorite Jan Jansen?
Ooh. Not
I don't know what else he's done on TV.
He's done the edited version of TV, and that is it. So out of those films, what's your favorite Jan Jansen?
I'd see that the edited version,
Good
and
choice.
I would probably be going to kill myself.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go ahead.
So a tie between the Showgirls edited TV version and actual suicide.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegsDon'tWork. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
See you later.